So welcome to the Global Business School for Health Scholarships and Funding information session. First of all, before I get going, I'd just like to tell you a little more about myself and the school. My name is Professor Nora Colton. I'm the director of the Global Business School for Health. And we are the first business school in the world totally dedicated to educating the next generation of health and healthcare leaders. We were established in 2021, and we are here to really create programs and opportunities for people who are interested in making a difference in health and healthcare. Of course, today, this is probably or is the fastest growing sector of any economy in the world. And it's not surprising, we have aging populations, we have people with non-communicable diseases on the rise, and things like diabetes and strokes, cancer. So it's really a very important sector. In countries like the United States, it's now 18% of their GDP, and in most OECD countries, it takes up about 10% of their GDP. So we won't solve all the problems. There's also many workforce challenges with just creating more clinicians. We need managers and leaders who understand the health and healthcare space and can take it forward. So that's really the ethos behind this school, to really also champion the Sustainable Development Goal number 3, which is about health and well-being, and to really make a difference for society. So we do that by a number of ways. Of course, we have academics, and we're an interdisciplinary faculty that crosses numerous areas, but also through our degree programs. So we offer 2 really cutting-edge MBAs, our face-to-face MBA Health, and then our online distance learning MBA, which is our Executive MBA Health. We also have a professional doctorates. It's a DBA in health that is a hybrid program between some online and also face-to-face. And then we have our, of course, our PhD programs in a broad area of healthcare management that align with our various academics backgrounds. And then we have 3 amazing MSc programs. Our MSc Biotech and Pharmaceutical Management, which is a very novel program. It's designed to mainly for people from science backgrounds who, pharmaceutical backgrounds, biotechnology backgrounds, who want to really learn the business side of those industries. We also have an MSc in Digital Health and Entrepreneurship. And then, of course, our Global Healthcare Management, where you can specialize in healthcare finance, healthcare analytics, or healthcare leadership. So we do, as you can see, health and healthcare are in our DNA. It's the focus of this business school. And we have a number of postgraduate programs to help you join and make a difference in this space. So first of all, just to talk to you quickly about some of these programs. Our MBA Health is a very innovative program, as I just mentioned, and it's costs currently $45,000, which is really competitive for an MBA in top 10 universities such as UCL. Our next intake is in September of 2023. You can take this program either full-time, 12 months, or part-time, 24 months. And it's offered at UCL's East London campus, which is called UCL East, which is the home of the Global Business School for Health. Then we also have our Executive MBA, which is also the same cost, but offered over 24 months. And it's mainly online. You do come each year for a 1-week residential deep dive in the first year to London, and in the second year, it's abroad, and we're planning for the first cohort to take them to the United States. And then we have our doctorates in business administration health. It's over 5 years, and it's 12,100 for each year. And that will be adjusted in subsequent years, according to the costs here in the university, and that's usually about a 3% change. And it's online with face-to-face block delivered weeks, so it's a hybrid program in the first 2 years, and then the last 3 years you're mainly working on your doctoral dissertation. And then we also have our MPhil PhD route for those who want to get a PhD rather than a DBA, and those are the costs associated with that. And then I want to focus on our MSCs. We've got some amazing MSCs, as I just mentioned to you, our MSc in Biotech and Pharmaceutical Management, our MSc in Digital Health and Entrepreneurship, and then our MSc in Global Healthcare Management. And for UK students, that's 18,000 a year, and for overseas students, 32,100. And those can be taken as, again, full-time or part-time, and are offered at our UCL campus in UCL East. It's in Stratford, London. So how do the fees work at UCL? Well, first of all, this is just an example from the MBA, but it applies to all the programs. You'll see that when you pay your fees, the fees include your study materials, registration, tuition, examinations, and also resits, and of course your graduation ceremony. Now in the MBA, we've got what we call our Global Health Challenge. It's an opportunity where students go 2 weeks abroad, and there is the added cost of the ground transportation for that, which is, well, the ground transportation, all the activities and the meals when you're there are covered by UCL, but you have to pay for your flight and your accommodations. Now, if you're doing the DBA, you have to come for 1 week. If you live in London, you can just come from your home. But of course, if you're coming from abroad, you'd have to, again, pay your flight and your hotel costs. But while you're in London, any activities that we do and the meals while you're on the program that week would be covered. So that's how we work with all these programs. And again, if you're doing the executive MBA and you come for your 1 week deep dive in London, you'd have to pay for that, your hotel and your transportation to London that week. And then in the following year, when we go to the United States, you have to pay for your flight and your accommodations while in the US. But we pick up all the activities, ground transportation, and meals while you're on site. So then how does the tuition work? Well, here's an example. If you were doing the MBA Health full-time or any of the MSCs, you just take that tuition and you divide it by 3, and there are 3 installments. So you pay in installments. UCL charges no interest for paying in installments. We'll charge you per term. If you're doing a part-time program, then you would spread that same amount and divide it by 6, and it would be over those years. If you're doing the EMBA, you would pay you would pay 7,500 3 times across the first year and 3 times across the second year. You can't do the executive MBA full time, so that would just be the part-time model. If you're doing the DBA, it's listed as a per year price. So as you saw in the previous slides, it was 12,100 per year over 5 years. So that's how we do the costing. And so you can understand how much and how you would have to pay and when you would have to pay. And then if you're coming on a program where you're going to be here on campus, a face-to-face program, you'd have your living costs, of course. And if you are going to live in London, this is what we average. You need about 250 pounds budgeted per week while you're here during term time. So, and the terms are 10 weeks. And then if you stay during the off times, you need to figure that out. So about 160 to 70 for rent per week, household bills, another maybe 8. if you're going to have transportation costs around 15, food maybe around 30, 31 pounds per week, course materials, you may or may not need course materials. Probably given the nature of our course, you wouldn't need those, but just to give you an idea, mobile phone, going out, and then clothing and health and others. So again, it will depend a lot on you. I've known students to live on a lot less. I've seen students live on a lot more, but that gives you a kind of a ballpark idea and things that you need to think about and consider. So how are you going to fund your time with us? So there are lots of ways in which you can go about that. You can apply. We've got different scholarships, and I'll talk about them more. UCL also has scholarships and bursaries that it offers. And then the UK government loans, if you're a UK resident or citizen, you can apply for loans. And there's schemes for both postgraduate programs. Then there are other fundings and loans that you can take. And of course, there's other ways that you can support your education. And I'll talk about those. So let's first look at what we have in our department and the kinds of scholarships. So we've got currently kind of 5 categories, as it were, that we offer scholarships. Because we're launching our executive MBA in this coming year, and it'll be our first intake, we put a lot of scholarship money aside for the executive MBA. So if you're thinking about doing that program, it's a great year to do it because we've got lots of extra scholarships. We've also got a number of scholarships for our MBA and a couple different scholarships there. Some are partial and one scholarship that is fully covers the fees. Then we also have a wonderful scholarship called the Women Healthcare Leaders Scholarship. And I'll talk a little more about that. And then we have our Global Healthcare Leaders Scholarship as well. So we've tried really to allocate as much money as we can to helping students attend. So the EMBA awards, again, there's an award for £45,000, which covers your tuition over the 2 years. So that's $22,500 per year. There's also some other partial scholarships, but that would cover all of your tuition. And the kind of way you apply to the program, and if you're an employee in the NHS or equivalent in a Ministry of Health, this particular scholarship you can apply to. And this is open only for the EMBA, and you need a strong application. And then you would also send us a 500-word essay that articulates how you plan to make a difference in your health management and country when you return upon or when you complete the program. Then we also have these that are much more open. So those you need to be working in to get the full scholarship. You need to be working in health in your home country or in the UK in the NHS. But the EMBA Health Future Impact Scholarships are open to anyone who applies to the program. They're $15,000, so they give you $7,500 per year for across the 2 years. And the eligibility is the same. You need a strong application for the EMBA, and then you would provide a 500-word statement around how you plan to make a difference in health management upon completion of your degree. Similarly, we have similar awards for our face-to-face MBA. Again, we have a full scholarship. It's we're looking for exceptional students, and the application process is similar to those that I've just articulated. And we also have the $15,000 partial scholarship for the MBA, either full-time or part-time. Then we have another scholarship. We call this our Women's Healthcare Leaders Scholarship. We took 20 females on this program and scholarship this year. You get $5,000 discount on your tuition, but moreover, you also get some coaching, mentoring, and interaction. And we're very excited to announce that PwC will be working with us and providing the mentoring and supporting us on the training for this scholarship. So it's not just about the scholarship, it's about all the other kind of coaching and high impact leadership training that you'll get as part of this scholarship. And again, you must be identified as a female, apply to one of our MSc programs, have a strong overall application with excellence in all criteria, and then submit a 500-word essay that articulates your leadership potential in healthcare. And then last but not least, we have our Global Healthcare Leaders Scholarship. It's up to £5,000. We're looking for exceptional students from the UK, Africa, Asia, South America. It's really very open to students from around the world who want to apply to this. We're really, again, looking for exceptional students that need some support with their tuition. So, as I've already mentioned, you apply by writing a 500-word essay for your chosen scholarship alongside your chosen program with all your documents completed by the application closing date. You can apply to more than one scholarship if you're eligible for more than one scholarship. Once your application's open, you can submit your scholarship application. You do not have to wait until you're accepted into the program to submit your scholarship application. So I want to ensure that everybody knows that so that you're sure to make the deadlines. And if you're successful in being awarded funding, it'll be applied as a tuition discount at the time of your enrollment. So other ways in which you can find scholarships at UCL. So UCL has lots of different scholarships. We've got a UCL Scholarships Finder, where you can, put in your information, the academic year that you're coming, the level of study that you're coming, the department, and then take that forward. It's a great tool to assist you in finding what scholarships might be available at UCL that you can apply for. There's also, if you're a UK citizen, there's government loans. You can get up to 11,570, and that might have gone up for this year. We'll so check that out. And it's for people who are studying full-time, part-time, or distance learning. And so all of our programs in Global Business School for Health qualify. You have to be a resident in the UK and under the age of 60. And it's a repayment program that you'll pay back. Alternatively, there are also a scholarship finder if you you can access by Googling UCL Doctoral Skills Development Program. It's a large database, and if you're not already a UCL student, you'd need a PIN number, and the PIN number you would use is 3098. It's a great place to see charities and other organizations that might provide funding, it's grants that you might apply to fund your, not just your doctorates, but of course, if you're doing a doctorate, it's a great place to look for funding. But also it could be, you might find some charities or organizations that as a master's student, you want to write to see if they might support you. Then I'd like to just tell you about some additional places that you might look. Of course, there's always, smaller funds that UCL offers. So again, check out the broader UCL website. There's also, if you're coming from the United States, you would qualify for federal funding. So those are direct loans. There are also, particularly for MBA students, you could look at Lendwise and Future Finance are two organizations that offer financing and loans. There are also various scholarships. So Chevening, Commonwealth, Fulbright, Grade, and of course, mastery bursaries for UK students that are offered at UCL. So what you want to do when you think about is you want to figure out what it's going to cost you to do the program. Then you want to look at, maybe how much your personal family or you can put into your education, possibly your employer. then you would want to think about some of these other sources that you could apply to, either for loans or for grants or for scholarships. The other thing that I wanted to mention, if you're coming from abroad, or even if you're a home student, of course, you can work alongside your education. And in fact, I would advocate that getting a job while you're doing your master's is a great idea. It's a way to improve your CV, get more job experience, and particularly as an international student, to understand the UK labor force. So with your Tier 4 visa, you can work up to 20 hours per week, Monday to Sunday. And then out of term time, you can work full time during vacations. So, figuring out and getting a job, and there's often, lots of part-time jobs available in the UK and in London. So it's very important, way that you can subsidize your education and also improve your employability skills. The International Student Support Team at UCL is fantastic, and they're there to really help you settle into the UK and make the most of your time at UCL and in London. And they can provide all sorts of practical guidance and advice around healthcare, banking, transportation, safety, and of course, any kind of immigration or visa questions that you might have. So again, that's your go-to place to when you're thinking about working in the UK. Also, I wanted to mention that if you're coming from abroad, there's a graduate route for visa that is available for international students. So after you complete your master's or your doctorates, you can also convert your Tier 4 visa into this graduate route and have 2 years that you can have a work visa to continue to work in the UK. So if you've gotten a job while you're doing your master's, you can often then segue into doing that full-time after you complete your master's. So just some other emails, funding at UCL, GBSH, student funding at UCL. So if you go UCL and put in student funding or scholarships, you should find that. PG loans for masters, that's a UK government site. And then, of course, there's the independent financial advice, moneysavingsexpert.com. All of these are opportunities and places where you can look and get more information as you think about how you're going to fund your education. So that's really my presentation. Again, we've got some upcoming events. Actually, tomorrow we have a fantastic webinar. If you want to tune in, it's at 1 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. It's on how do you reframe healthcare around preventative care. We also, later in February, have an open day for our digital health and entrepreneurship program on the 22nd, and on the 23rd, we've got our MSc Global Healthcare Management open day. So do check out our events. And also always feel free to write our admissions. We're here to help you and to support you in your application process and moving forward. So that's our email, admissionsgbsh@ucl.ac.uk. I can't emphasize how much we want to help you and support you. So please feel free to write us with any questions you have. Now, I'm going to take and stop sharing my slides and move over to your Q&A and see. So if you haven't put a question in, please put a question in and I'll take the questions that are there. Thank you so much. So, do you offer admissions fee waivers for Chevening applicants? No, we don't. But I believe your scholarship should help you with that. Can we get admissions fee waiver by attending this webinar? No, we don't offer admissions fee waiver for attending the webinars. It's an interesting thought though. How many applicants do you get for the full funded grant? Well, as you may or may not realize, our school has only been in existence for the last couple of years. So we try to accommodate as many applicants as we can with our funding. And I would say last year we were able to, on the MBAs, to give most of the applicants a scholarship. So I don't know the exact numbers, but I would say we were able to accommodate a significant number of students with some sort of funding. Just to double check, prospective students can apply for the scholarship and the MBA program at the same time. Yes, you can apply for both. And actually, I highly recommend it so that if you get accepted into the MBA, you've already got your scholarship application sorted out and you won't miss that deadline. Not necessary to get an offer. Finish the program application first before the scholarship application and apply for multiple scholarships. You will not be awarded a scholarship until you've been accepted on the program, but you can submit your application at the same time. There's no reason to wait. Can I ask to see the slide again with the grant options with the PIN? Thank you. Okay, I'll get that back up for you. Or if you don't mind, I'll just tell you the PIN, and we can do it that way as well. So the PIN number that I mentioned to you is 3098. And if you Google UCL Doctoral Skills Development Program, you'll pick up that website. And then you would use as a prospective student the PIN 3098. Okay, is there any other questions? I'm going to hang on here for just a minute, see if you have any other questions. All right, well, I don't see any questions coming in. Oh, maybe I do. Will there be open day tomorrow? Yes, there's a live open day tomorrow. It's an in-person event, not online. And I really welcome everyone to attend. If you're interested in our MBA, you'll have an opportunity to meet the director and also to meet the students that are on the program. Okay, so I don't see any other questions coming in. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure presenting to you. And again, if anything comes to mind, you need anything, just write to us. We're here to help you. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.